Hi everybody. Today we are going to talk about two techniques. We're going to talk about the Sgraffito technique and we're going to talk about stenciling. So I'm going to start with the Sgraffito technique. So Sgraffito is an example of how you can put underglaze onto your clay while it is leather hard and then carve into it. So this portion of the plate I did with a light blue, and then I let it dry on the leather hard clay, and then I went and did black over just the rim. Once both dried, I went back in and carved, and you can see through the blue, it just turns white, the color of the clay, but through the black and the blue, it kind of gives you this two-toned finish. So, just to give you a quick example, I have my leather hard clay. I've pre-painted this underglaze on it. It is black. Now I can take my loop tool, and maybe I'll turn it upside down so you can see a little better, and I can start to carve whatever I want into it. And all of these lines are then going to come out to be white. So it's a pretty simple finish. If you'd like, you can do something that's more rainbow oriented, which is like what I did here with layering the multiple colors. You can layer 5, 6, 7 different colors if you want, and then when you cut through, you get multiple colors. So underglazes, just so you know, come in either of these two labels. They say underglazes on them, but the colors come out pretty similar. So this is a medium blue and this is chartreuse. The colors don't come out exactly the same because once clear is applied, they become brighter. But here are examples of the colors. Here's our chartreuse, here's our medium blue that you see, and here's the black. All right, so that's the Sgraffito technique. Leather hard, paint on underglaze, carve in, and then you get this kind of nice transition. And you do all of that carving in detail after you've cleaned up the bottom. It's like the very end of working with and adding onto the piece. All right, so another one that's similar to this is stenciling. So I have stencil paper. This is a clear, shiny paper, not clear, but shiny paper. And what you can do is cut into it with like an X-Acto knife to create your pattern. Here I've got some negative spaces, but I also have the triangles that I cut out, so I could do just positive triangles. So I already did a little bit on the inside here. You can see there is a blob of this chartreuse color, and I have a stenciled little triangle there. So once it dries, I can go back and pick it off. And then I have a nice triangular shape underneath. So this is just a cool way for you to achieve some more funky shapes or some repetition. I did the exact opposite on this cup with some of the pieces. So I used the negative template and I traced some of the pieces here. So I want to show you one more. This can be done when your clay is leather hard like this, or it can be done when your clay is bisqued. So this piece has already been bisqued. I have my triangular template. Just want to talk about the importance of how you apply the glaze, because if you do it incorrectly, then you can run into issues with the template not actually working and all of the glaze going underneath. Too hard to open. We'll use chartreuse. Okay, so I'm gonna set my template down. If you can get some tape to attach it. In this case, my piece is too small, so I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna take my underglaze and I'm just going to press it down over the edges, okay? If I smooth, especially towards the edges of the template, then all of that underglaze is gonna go underneath. So you have to slowly build up. I can't do a really thick layer, but one of the nice things about underglaze is it comes out the way that it looks, so you don't need to worry about 1 to 2 coats, or you don't need to worry about 2 to 3 coats if it looks the way you want it to. So in this case, I'm just continuing this kind of pressing pattern. Once I'm done, I would probably go back and do a second coat so it's a little more solid, but I just want you to see, ta-da, beautiful star right there. So last thing I'll show you, you can see this underglaze, you can see a little bit of the clay shining through. This was 2 coats. In this case, if I really don't want any white shining through, I'd probably go back and do a 3rd coat. The black covered pretty well. I've got a couple like fingerprints there, but that I did with 1 coat. So stenciling, you create a pattern, you can create repetition over and over. You can do it on leather hard or bisqued clay. Sgraffito, you do only on leather hard clay. You put the underglaze on and then you carve away to create this kind of like light and dark patterning. So those are our two methods for today. I'm going to show you one other one just to finish off. This is a red clay with white underglaze, and then you can see it's a funny little drawing that somebody did through in the Sgraffito and then added a little bit of color for the eyes.